We're going to talk about friction in outer space. Welcome.
Friction is the force resisting the relative motion of solid surfaces, fluid layers, and material elements sliding against each other. There are several types of friction: dry friction, fluid friction, lubricated friction, skin friction, and internal friction.
Dry friction resists relative lateral motion of two solid surfaces in contact. Dry friction is subdivided into static friction between non-moving surfaces and kinetic friction between moving surfaces. Fluid friction describes the friction between layers of a viscous fluid that are moving relative to each other. Lubricated friction is a case of fluid friction where a lubricant fluid separates two solid surfaces. Skin friction is a component of drag, the force resisting the motion of a fluid across the surface of a body. Finally, internal friction is the force resisting motion between the elements making up a solid material while it undergoes deformation.
There is one place without friction. It is in space. Space itself doesn't have friction, but two moving bodies in space can experience friction between them if they make contact.
We can take as an example a meteorite. As we can see, as in space there is no friction, there is no other force that can increase or decrease the acceleration of a meteorite. Its acceleration will be constant, always.
Space is a vacuum with a lot less particles than found in air, so a lot less friction.
Friction is not caused by gravity, but by two things rubbing together, for instance your foot and the ground. There is very little friction in space, because it is nearly a vacuum, but there is matter in space against which something could rub, causing friction. Also, there is gravity in space. There is indeed gravity everywhere. When one is in outer space, you are merely too far from the Earth to be pulled by its gravitational force all the way back to its surface.
Thanks that there is no friction in space, a normal rudder will not function because there is no water to change the course of the spaceship or any wind to affect the spaceship direction. But scientists found the solution for this. It is a multiple propulsion device that will give the spaceship any direction it wants. This special propulsion device is made by air pressure down in the spaceship.
Also, in the image we can see some jetpacks that the astronaut uses. These are also manipulated by air pressure. So we can see that with this artifact, spaceships or space stations or astronauts doesn't need any type of friction from the environment they are. Thanks to the scientists, they have created a special machine that can be useful where there is no friction.